Hello, sir. Do you still live here? Yes, officer. This is my home. Neighbors said nobody has seen you outside in months. Sir, can I clear the front path for you?
I can't pay you, son. You don't have to. Right.
Then please be careful near the fence first. There's something there I promise not to lose.
Everyone saw a house that looked abandoned. Nobody saw the old man inside, trying to protect the memories of every child who once needed a home. When I pulled up, a police officer was standing near the porch, asking if anyone still lived there. The yard was badly overgrown. The walkway had disappeared. Bushes covered the windows, vines wrapped around the railing, and tall grass swallowed the little fence along the side of the house. From the street, it looked empty, but an elderly man stood in the doorway with a cane saying, "This is my home." I asked if I could clear the front path for him. He looked embarrassed and said, "I can't pay you, son." I told him he didn't have to. That's when he pointed toward the fence and said, "Please be careful over there. There's something there I promised not to lose." His name was Mr. Harold. He told us he and his wife never had children of their own, but for more than 30 years they opened that house to foster kids who needed somewhere safe. Some stayed for a week. Some stayed for years. Some arrived with nothing but a backpack and fear in their eyes. His wife had one rule: no child should feel like a guest in a place where they were supposed to be safe. So every child who stayed with them got to paint their name on one board of that little fence. She called it the belonging fence. Mr. Harold said, some kids didn't know how long they'd stay, but when they saw their name out there, they knew they mattered while they were here. After his wife passed, he tried to keep the fence clean, but his legs got weaker. His hands started shaking. The mower became too heavy. Then, one afternoon, he fell while trying to pull weeds away from the boards. After that, the yard grew faster than he could fight it. People saw a neglected property. He saw names disappearing one by one. He whispered, "I promised my wife I wouldn't let those children be forgotten." That hit me hard. So I started with the walkway, then cleared the porch steps and railing. After that, I moved toward the side fence slowly, cutting around it by hand. The officer stayed nearby, watching quietly. Halfway through the weeds, I uncovered the first painted board. It said Marcus in crooked blue letters, then Tina, then Josh, then Annie. Every board had a different color, a different handwriting, a different little life attached to it. Mr. Harold stepped closer, leaning on his cane, crying before I even finished. Then my glove touched something tucked behind the fence. It was a small metal box, sealed in a plastic bag and covered in dirt. Mr. Harold's face went pale. He said his wife kept letters in that box from kids who had grown up and written back. His hands shook too much, so he asked me to open it. The first note said, "I used to think nobody wanted me. You and Mrs. Harold made me feel chosen." Another said, "I named my daughter Grace because your house taught me what grace felt like." The whole yard went silent. The officer looked down. Mr. Harold pressed the letters to his chest and said, "I thought the world forgot they were here." This wasn't just lawn care anymore. It was a man trying to keep proof that love had lived in that house. So I kept going. I cleared the whole fence, trimmed the bushes, opened the walkway, and mowed the yard in clean sections. When I finished, every painted name could be seen again from the sidewalk. Just then, a woman walking by stopped at the curb. She stared at the fence and whispered, "Mr. Harold?" He turned slowly. She pointed at one of the boards and said, "That's my name. I was Annie." He covered his mouth. She walked up the cleared path with tears in her eyes and said, "This was the first place I ever felt safe." Mr. Harold broke down right there on the porch. Before I packed up, Annie looked toward the backyard and said, "Is the swing still back there?" Mr. Harold wiped his eyes and said, "I haven't seen it since my wife died." So I picked up my tools and followed them toward the gate. Comment next if you want to see what we found in the backyard, and follow if you believe elderly people deserve help before judgment.